Circles tend to be a little bit easier to work with just because there's not as much variation. We don't have to worry about up or down, left or right, like we do with parabolas or even ellipses and hyperbolas. So kind of two forms that the equations show in. One is typically called the center radius form, which looks like this, in which case then our center is at hk. So we moved x to the right h and y up k. And the radius then is just r. But normally, we're going to be seeing them written in this way, which is standard form, which is that means we have to do some extra work to turn it into center radius form to be able to easily see where's our center, what's our radius. And so this does involve completing the square. And the way I can tell this, just by looking at the equation, that this is a circle, is I have x squared and y squared. I'm adding them, and they have the same coefficients of 1. So to complete the square for this, I want x and y all on one side, but I'm going to group it so the x's are together. So x squared plus 2x. And then I'm going to leave some space. And then I'm going to have my y squared minus 12y. Leave some space, and equal to 0. And what I'm going to have to do is that completing the square for each of these. So I'm actually going to be adding two different things to each side of my equation. One that'll complete the square for x, and one that completes the square for y's. So here I have 2 divided by 2 squared, which means I'm going to add 1 to each side. And then I have negative 12 divided by 2 squared, which is 36. And I'm going to add to each side as well. So then what I now have is x plus something squared, and then a y with something squared equals 37. And again, the little trick from the last video, my b divided by 2 is what's actually going here, so that's a plus 1, and this is a minus 6. So what I can tell from this is that my center, my x's moved left 1, and my y's went down 6, or I'm sorry, up 6. And my radius is going to be the square root of 37, which is a little bit more than 6 units. So if I were graphing this, I would go and put a point at negative 1, 6, which is my center. Not actually part of the circle, but is how I graph my circle. And then all I do is I go out the radius. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a little bit more. Down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a little bit more. Left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a little bit more. And I would go up also. I have to guesstimate there because I didn't take a large enough graph and I didn't go with the scale. It's a little bit easier to work with. Not the best drawing of a circle, but there's the graph of our circle.